Hello everyone, Micah Fights with Friends. It is MMA Trivia Tuesday. And it is MMA movie trivia night. So I hope you guys have watched as many ridiculous, plotless martial arts movies in your life as I have. But I highly doubt it. Maybe Billy has. No. Gotta tease you if you're in here, Billy. Just teasing you. But how's everybody doing? Crazy week in MMA. I don't know what's going on, but I hope you guys are not encouraging this Justin Bieber versus calling out Tom Cruise for a UFC fight thing, because this is absolutely preposterous, people. Absolutely preposterous. But we'll figure it out. I know some people will end up watching it, but we have some real MMA fights coming up here soon. Of course, Dustin Poirier is finally scheduled to face Khabib Nurmagomedov. Some interesting things in Khabib's new contract. What's up, first, last in the house? PR, Jason Azevedo. How you doing, man? Xander Sanders. Tom Cruise would wreck that kid. Well, I gotta say, when you're 25 years old, it's not real ballsy to call out a 56-year-old man. Good to see you, Jason. We got a lot of trivia questions this week. We'll let everybody come in soon. Real quick, I know everybody hates to talk about it. That is hilarious, Jason. I know everybody hates to talk about it. A lot of people hate to talk about it. I'm going to bring it up, and then I'm going to push it to the side. Of course, I'm going to get the Conor McGregor talk out of the way. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Khabib Nurmagomedov is going to face Dustin Poirier in Abu Dhabi on September 7th. Of course, a lot of people feel like Conor McGregor is trying to push his way into that rematch, which I do not want to see at all. Do not think it would be any more competitive than the first time. And Dana White recently said, he said at TMZ, I think it was 3 days ago, he said that Conor McGregor absolutely would fight this year. And honestly, I hope they feed him to Justin Gaethje. You want to give him a match? Oh, there is a conspiracy there, Jason. You want to give him a match. You know what? I'm fine with Conor McGregor getting a title shot if he can beat Justin Gaethje. Put him up against Justin Gaethje. If he wins, the winner of that gets a title shot. I don't think there's any way he's defeating Justin Gaethje, but if he gets it, then I'm actually okay with it. I just don't think he will. The other guy I would like to see him fight, of course, would be Donald Cerrone, who's just coming off the fight with Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson has to be next in line, though, for the title, or, people should just go absolutely ballistic. Yeah, I would love to see Conor versus Gaethje. A lot of people said they want to see Gaethje versus Donald, and I could see why people would want to see that. Donald coming off kind of a technical loss, though. I think it would be actually kind of a step down at this moment for Gaethje. And a Ferguson-Gaethje fight, I don't think really makes sense, because I don't think Tony should have to fight anyone else before he fights for the title. Greg only wants pay-per-view or main event. Yeah, I have no interest in seeing him fight. If he wants to retire, I'm absolutely fine with that. Conor for sure needs to fight again before Khabib rematch. Yeah, like I said, feed him to Gaethje, but I think Gaethje would absolutely decimate him. Absolutely decimate him. And I think Donald needs 6 months at least off. Donald is beat up, man, and he always says he's going to take time off. I think he was saying he was going to take time off, I believe. before the after his match before this, and then they offer him the Tony fight, which was just 31 days later. Of course, he takes the Tony Ferguson fight, which was an incredible fight until the mishap with his eye swollen up. I thought it was a round apiece going into the third round. I thought Tony was definitely getting the momentum going in his favor. But Donald Cerrone was by no means out of that fight. And even for 2 rounds, that was... we expected it to be an incredible fight, and it was an incredible fight for as long as it happened. And then other news coming out, Henry Cejudo calling out everybody and anybody, calling out Dominic Cruz, which... for the guys that are out there right now, I kind of understand, because with TJ out, there's really nobody out there. Late hit or Donald was not done. That's something I don't see anybody bringing up, PR, is that late hit. And I don't know if that's what caused Donald's broken nose. Because, of course, everybody knows now Donald blew his nose. And then the eye swelled up. And Donald may have been done. PR says, but is Donald really ever done, though? I agree that the fight was headed in Tony Ferguson's direction. I don't know necessarily that Donald Cerrone was out of it. Seeing Donald's body language after that hit, after the buzzer. But it didn't seem like he argued it a whole lot. Donald's never a guy. Donald's not a guy that's going to tell you that he wants to quit, though. I mean, he's definitely going to go out on his shield. He's as freaking tough as they come. And I'm very happy for Tony, though. I'm very happy for Tony Ferguson. If he does not get the winner of Khabib and Dustin Poirier, I think MMA fans just need to go absolutely apeshit. Seriously. I think it would be an absolute travesty. And I get every pay-per-view, and I honestly would consider boycotting that one. Donald was fixing his nose throughout the first round and the second. Like I said, I wasn't sure that it was because of the late hit. He did get hit by the late hit, but I did notice issues with his nose before that. So I don't know that the late hit had any bearing on that. I did think it was interesting. I think it was referee Dan Margliotta. I can't remember for sure who the referee was. But he told Tony, he said, you hit him after the bell. You heard the bell ring. I thought that was pretty telling. Tony Ferguson has never, by any means that I know of, maybe you guys know differently, but as far as I know, he has never shown any inclination to be a dirty fighter. So, I found that very surprising for him to say that you knew that you hit him. I don't think Tony would purposely hit Donald after the bell, and he was obviously very upset that the fight was stopped. Donald froze in place for a second. Yep. Tony looked fresh. And Tony comes on in the late rounds. They tried to make Khabib Tony how many times? I believe 5 times. That is the big problem, John Cesaro. There are people that literally believe that fight is cursed. And it's hard to argue with him. Tony should have had a point taken off. I'm disgusted by that. Accidentally. It was way after the bell. And here's the thing. That's why I say that, Jason, I think it was a round apiece. If you take a point away and Tony wins the third round, there's definitely no guarantee that he would have finished Donald. Donald's a tough out. Even if Tony won the third round convincingly, with the point taken away, maybe it becomes a draw, which is also horrible, though. And then Tony doesn't get the title shot. So I guess in that respect, I'd rather have what we ended up with. Yeah, Donald. I just love seeing Donald fight. I said I would love to see him fight Conor. Maybe that, people were speculating again about 165-pound weight class shortly after Dana said that they would never have one. Of course, I agree with what's Ben Askren said, that when Dana White says something's not going to happen, it's pretty much guaranteed to happen. I think that was pretty funny, but I think it was also spot on. Not 1 point taken off. No. And that's another reason that I think we really need to get away from the 10-point must system. Because if you had 20 points or even 30 points, you would be more likely to take away a point. Right now, to take away a point, what's up, comedic genius in the house? We're talking about Donald Cerrone versus Tony Ferguson fight. Right now, if you take away a point in an MMA fight, like for grabbing onto a fence, a late hit, an eye poke, a low blow, whatever it is, a point is so detrimental. It's a third of your fight. So if you had, say, a 30-point must system, and then a 30-29 is basically one of these draws that it's super hard for you to go one way or the other, but you're just so slightly leaning one way or the other. If there's really not much argument over who won a round, you'd have 30-28, and then even a third point for a dominant, so a 30-27. Then for a foul, if you take away 1 point and you still win the round, if you win it convincingly, you could still win it by 1 point. Or if it was close to a tie, then it's a draw round. I think that's a much better way to do it. What's up? Everybody's coming in. I don't know when I was saying Dustin was going to smash Max. Everybody gave me yes. For that, I have a lot of faith in Dustin. Other after asking, I believe that Dustin is being grossly underestimated again. Versus Khabib versus Conor fight. Conor cheated the whole fight. Yes, he did. Definitely should have gotten a point taken away. Definitely. And you guys see, Dustin's like a 4-1 underdog coming into that fight. I think those odds should be closer. I think he should be more like maybe a plus 260. I think it should be more like 2.5 to 1. It's more like in between 4.5 to 5 to 1. I think that's way off. But I kind of understand being that Khabib is 20-0. You got to be a diamond in the dirt with Khabib on your back. Good luck. Yeah, Dustin Poirier is an absolute stud. For people to think that he does not have a chance in that fight. And how good does Justin Gaethje look now? Coming off 2 crazy impressive wins, outstriking the striker in Edson Barbosa. A lot of what we were judging Justin Gaethje for was losing that absolute war with Dustin Poirier, which was very close. And I think Justin has grown just since then. He's changed some of his training. He's got some different coaches. I think that the worst matchup for Khabib might be Gaethje. Tony can beat Khabib, except for maybe Tony. I think even though Dustin probably beats Gaethje, he beat him the first time. If they fight again, he probably beats him again. I think Dustin definitely has a shot against Khabib. I think Gaethje's even a worse matchup for Khabib than Dustin is, though. He has great wrestling takedown, and those leg kicks, those kicks, everything that Dustin does is very counterintuitive to a lot of things Khabib does. Dustin has a better chance than Conor, who was only plus 140 or something. God, I wish I would have bet that fight. how many of us were saying that Khabib was going to win that fight? I'm pretty sure very few of us in here thought that Conor was going to win that fight. Justin Bieber versus Joe Rogan. Now that 50-year-old man would beat Justin Bieber's ass. That I will take. But it's very hard when you got a 56-year-old man. 25-year-old man challenging a 56-year-old man. That's just, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, that attention whore, Justin Bieber called out 56-year-old Tom Cruise for an MMA match and asked Dana to make it. It's absolutely ludicrous. Great striker, amazing wrestling, and tremendous grit. Yeah, Justin is crazy, man. Justin, he's going to take you into deep water, and he's going to bury you. I think he would break Conor. I think he would break him physically, mentally, and just... Conor could land a lucky shot, but that's the fights I would like to see, and I think that would be a great co-main event. Give Conor his pay-per-view points as a co-main. Make it for, God, I don't know what, the 165 belt, interim, whatever you want to call it. Make it a co-main. Khabib versus Dustin, and then Conor versus Gaethje. Tony's very good on his back. Tony's a jiu-jitsu wizard. Adesanya versus Khabib, that's an interesting match. They're 30 pounds apart, though. Adesanya is a middleweight. I know he's a small middleweight, but that's a big difference. Israel not taking Khabib. I'll fight Justin. I'd fight Justin Bieber. Most 50-year-olds would whoop that wussy's tail. Here's the deal, though. You take a 25-year-old in decent shape. I know Justin Bieber, whatever you want to talk about him, he's a wuss, he's this, he's that. You give him some actual martial arts training. The fact that he's 25 years old, and you put him against a 56-year-old, he's probably going to win. That's just the bottom line. I'm Justin Bieber called out Tom. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not a joke. That was absolutely crazy, and I can't believe people were giving credence to that. Now I'm kind of, but I'm making fun of it. So don't forget about old man strength. Well, we are doing trivia first last. Let's jump right into the first trivia question. And then we'll jump back to some MMA talk. I wanted to make sure that we got both in during this Tuesdays for those that want to talk about MMA during the week too. But let's go. Everybody refresh your browsers. I'm going to give everyone a few more seconds because people have told me that they get an ad popped up. So I'll give you a few more seconds to adjust your browsers. And I'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, guys. In this Jackie Chan movie, Jackie is reunited with his twin brother that he was separated from at birth. Was reunited with his twin brother he was separated from at birth, and they find out, there it is. Malik Almat, Twin Dragons, you are correct, sir, and 1,000 points on the board for Malik. And Billy's not in yet, so he cannot win, and Amber is not in. Or is it Amber Ward won the first, has 2 weeks. Billy has 1. Neither are in yet. But great job there, Malik. All right. See how many people, 11 people in here. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, guys. Help us moving up on the algorithms. Brother versus brother. Yep. Give Tony a fat payday against Conor, or give Tony the title shot. Anything else despicable and unacceptable. Tony's got to get the title shot after Dustin, of course. Boomer finds his brother the pianist. Yep, you are right. Very good. That's actually it's been quite a few years since I watched it. But at the time I thought it was a good movie. Some of these movies now I go back and I tell my kids and I'm like, "Man, that was a really good movie." And then we go back and watch it, and sometimes they don't always stand up. But, I mean, that wasn't one that was like dependent on graphics or anything like that anyways. And Billy Hughes was in the house. He was here. And Malik still got it. Great job. Is it on YouTube? That's awesome. Yeah, for those that don't know, too, there are now free movies on YouTube. And I know Billy, I think Billy's got a Roku. Those that have Roku, there's a Roku channel on there now, and they actually have a ton of free movies on there. So just to let you guys know, if you're looking for free movies, I mean, they're right there on your Roku. I mean, I think there's like 50, like actually really good movies. Justin Bieber gets in the octagon, still test positive for cowardice. Yes, it's on YouTube. Yes, Balak Almat. We should do a fight companion on a martial arts movie sometime. Full screen too. Damn, nice. Me versus Bieber says first time. I would take on Justin Bieber for sure. When you're talking about 56 years old, though, there's a thing. You can offset this by heavy weightlifting, but after the age of 40, the average man actually loses 1% testosterone per year. So you look at a guy that's 56 years old, and then you talk about reflexes and everything else. I mean, Tom Cruise is as big a stud at 56 years old as there ever was. Dude's an absolute freaking Superman. So, maybe he could do it. I don't want to see it in the UFC. I'll watch it on YouTube. Then at 89, always be with Bieber. All right, let's go to question number 2. Everybody go ahead and refresh your browsers. I'll give you an extra second, because people were telling me, like I said, that they were getting ads uploaded. So an extra second to upload your browsers. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This Bruce Lee movie, Bruce investigates, and I missed an H, the mysterious death of his sensei and seeks justice. In this Bruce Lee movie, Bruce investigates the mysterious death of his sensei and seeks justice. There it is, Jason Azevedo. Chinese connection, and I guarantee you that movie definitely stands up because it's a Bruce Lee movie. So of course it does. I would strangle Justin Bieber. His eyes would rupture in his sockets. Oh, that's hilarious. This is MMA, isn't it? It is, yes, it is actually MMA movie night. It's a special night. All of the MMA questions tonight will be based on MMA movies. So I announced it last week, I believe. There's quizzes you can set up with links on the answers and all I've seen. So I'm going to do one, and it's pretty nice. Nice. Well, come on, Van Damme coming up. You got to hit them all. You got to hit all the different stars. But speaking of Bruce Lee movies, there's a lot of them out there, obviously. I've seen them all many times, but a lot of them are replaying over there on Sling right now, guys. The last time I checked, Sling was still giving us this deal. I don't know how long they're going to do it. It is a limited time. $15 a month for 3 months, but $10 a month for 3 months with our code here from Fights with Friends. So remember that when you go to Sling TV, get all those channels: ESPN 1, 2, 3, AMC, TNT, TBS, HGTV, Travel Channel, History, Cartoon Network, Adult Swim. Just a ridiculous amount of channels for $10 a month. I don't think you're going to get that out there anywhere. And most of the time when I'm on there, unless I'm watching UFC or basketball, I actually end up watching all the DVR stuff on there because there's so many movies and shows and different things. It's absolutely crazy. Yes, it's 13, it says 14 now on my screen, but yeah, it's been about the same. Oh, I don't know movies. Good night. All right. Thanks, Jeremiah79, for coming in. It won't be movies next week. He is, but he's not allowed to go full reptilian. I think he's supposed to get knocked out and then recovers miraculously. It's hilarious. All right, let's get into the next question. Everybody, give you a chance to hit your browsers. For question number 3 so far, we got 1,000 points to Malak. We got 1,000 points to Jason Azevedo. And everybody, refresh your browsers and give you a second if you're getting ads and things. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In this 90s Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, he plays a detective who goes undercover in a prison to investigate why prisoners are dying and uncovers an organ-selling organization. Which movie is that? In this movie, Jean-Claude Van Damme, our 90s Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, he plays a detective who goes undercover into a prison to investigate why prisoners are dying and uncovers an organ-selling organization. And we'll go to the chat there. There it is. Billy Hughes, was he the first one to get it? Death Warrant. What's up, First Last? Thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. As always, not Into the Dragon. I think Billy was the first one to get Death Warrant, right? Face Off is John Travolta and Nicolas Cage, I believe. But yeah, looks like Billy Hughes was the first one to get it. That's the only one I see on there. Does anybody else see anything else? Nope, Death Warrant, so that one goes to Billy. All right, so we have a three-way tie. Three-way tie for first place. Malak, Jason, and Billy. And to get the gringo. I love that. Oh, jeez. All right, let's jump right into another question real quick. We got 12 rounds, and we can always talk some more MMA in between the rounds, but we will jump into the next question here. And then we'll talk for just a minute about what's going on this Friday, for those that don't know already. But go ahead and update your browsers. Give you a minute to update your browsers and get through the ads. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This series of mega action stars includes Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jet Li, Dolph Lundgren, Bruce Willis, among others. And then sequels also included Jean-Claude Van Damme and Chuck Norris. I think this will be, I figured this would probably be a speed test. And who got it first? John Lolacero, looks like, is the first one, just barely before Jason. It is The Expendables. Malak was right there, but you had the replacements. So not the replacements, it is The Expendables. And it was John Lolacero. So a 4-way tie now for first place. I have a feeling we're going to end up using a tie-breaking question. Billy, of course, the season 1 champion. I decided we're going to have 20 weeks. Close enough for me. 20 weeks of season 2 of trivia before we declare a champion. And see if somebody can dethrone Billy or if he ends up being the defending champion. Scientology got nothing. Nope. That was with Reese playing football. Coming up this Friday, though, like I was talking about this Friday, Bellator, Chael Sonnen versus Lyoto the Dragon Machida. Also moving on in the Bellator welterweight tournament, which I'm more excited about, actually, is that fight between Neiman Gracie and the champion. Why am I drawing a blank here? Roy McDonald. Roy McDonald and Neiman Gracie, and I'm picking Neiman Gracie actually in this one. I'm picking Roy McDonald to lose his title. That's gonna be a fun one though, and actually a really good Bellator card for once. And we're gonna get a Saturday off this time, so no MMA this Saturday. Go out and do something with your family. I'm gonna go out and do some with my family, but we got it on Friday, and one more huge match on that one, and I'll talk about that one here in just a minute. Let's jump into the next trivia question, though, of the night. Go ahead and update your browsers, and I'll give you a second for if it starts any ads or has any other kind of delay for you. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In this movie, Steven Seagal plays a former CIA agent, goes by Nico, working as a Chicago cop when he runs into an international drug trafficking organization. When he is encouraged to drop the case, he realizes it goes deep into the CIA itself. Which Steven Seagal movie is this? It is not Out for Justice. It's around the same time, though. There, Billy Hughes gets it. It is Above the Law. All right, you guys can't let Billy win you again. He's trying to take a second season in a row. Jason had it right there above the law. It looks like Billy had it just before you. Very close. Anybody seen Richie? Yeah, that one's out for justice. Was with Richie. So also this Friday, guys, and maybe the most exciting fight on that card. It's hard to decide between the three. But this Friday's Bellator's bantamweight champion Ryoji Horiguchi, Rizen's champion Ryoji Horiguchi. Darian Caldwell earlier during the year went over to Rizin to challenge him for his bantamweight championship and lost. Horiguchi defeated Darian Caldwell in Rizin, and the Rizin belt was on the line. Now Ryoji Horiguchi from Rizin's going to come over in Bellator. We're going to see what the difference is between a ring and a cage. Caldwell blames it on the ring over the cage for his loss. If Horiguchi beats Caldwell, he will be the Rizin and the Bellator champion. So the Bellator championship is on the line. Good to see more cross-promotional fights like that, especially since I don't know that I'll ever do another Rizin stream again, with all the delays that me and Billy had to put up with on the last stream. I think it was like 10 freaking hours. It was 8 hours anyways. Yeah, interesting. He is Ryoji Horiguchi. If you have not seen him fight, he is really good. What's up, Pulse Reloaded in the house? Thanks for coming in, man. Hey, you're not too far into it. You could still come back. 12 questions. We had 5 questions. But nobody's got more than 2,000. Billy's got 2,000. And then we have Malak, Jason Azevedo, and John Licicero all tied with 1,000 apiece. Yep, the OG himself pulls. Game of Thrones. It is not Game of Thrones. That was interesting. Somebody left. They said, I thought this was MMA. I said, this is movie trivia week. He goes, okay, thanks for letting me know. I'm leaving. So, all right. To each their own. All right, guys. I'm going to give you guys an extra second to update your browsers. Make sure you're up to the second. Give you a moment in case an ad or something has to load. And we'll go into the next MMA trivia question in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bruce Lee came up with one of the most popular martial arts TV series ever, but producers stole it from him and gave it to a white actor. I'm looking for the name of the series. This was Bruce Lee's idea. Producers stole it from him. They ended up giving it to a white actor. And Pulse Reloaded, you are correct. It was Kung Fu. Pulse Reloaded on the board already. John and Jason were just right behind him. And anybody know who was the actor? Not any points on, but who was the actor that took over for Bruce Lee? First class, this is rigged. Yep, David Carradine. No points on that one, sorry. But I figured everybody would jump on that one quick. Patrick Swayze, that's awesome. All right, so Pulse Reloaded with 1,000 on the board. And boxing finally getting going here recently. Of course, Anthony Joshua lost his title to Andy Ruiz Jr. Tyson Fury will be in action finally here very soon. I think that's very soon, actually. I think it's like a couple weeks. But it's against kind of a bum. Schwartz. Tom Schwartz. At least I've heard that he's kind of a bum. Tyson Fury versus Tom Schwartz. And it will be on... What is the date on it? Where is it here? I thought that they had a date set for this. Why am I not seeing the date? That's funny. They keep showing the time and not the day. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, ESPN. They got the time on here 1,000,000 times, not the day. They seriously... Oh, this Saturday? All right, guys. So... apparently, I will be streaming this Saturday. Tyson Fury and Schwartz. Undercard begins at 4 p.m. We're not doing any of that shit. Boxing undercards always suck. So the main card will start at 7 p.m. So we'll jump on there at 7 p.m. I'm pretty sure it's 7. If it's a different time, I'll update you guys. But it's actually on ESPN Plus. So if you have ESPN Plus already for UFC, you're going to get the Tyson Fury fight on top of it. Should have been a trivia question. I want 10 million points, no negotiations. Oh, jeez. Yeah, this Saturday. I was thinking it was next Saturday for some reason. Talk about CCC. Is that supposed to be Triple G or Triple C? I'm not sure who you're talking about. Are you talking about the champ? You talking about Andy Ruiz Jr.? Are you talking about the guy trying to be champ, Henry Cejudo? Who said he will take on Frankie Edgar, by the way, if Frankie Edgar gets past Max Holloway. Which I think Frankie Edgar's is actually kind of a strange matchup for Max. Cejudo, yeah. You got to give it to him, man. The dude is a stud. The guy is a stud. No matter what you say about him, I mean, he seems... People were saying, man, he seems kind of cringe. And I'm thinking, I'm watching and I'm like, man... You know, he does seem kind of cringe. It does seem like a little bit of overkill. And then I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, man, why wasn't anybody saying this when Conor won the second championship, though? Conor was way, way cockier than Henry Cejudo. And now that I think about it, I mean, Henry Cejudo, he didn't really say a whole lot. The biggest thing, of course, he said was that he's the greatest combat athlete of all time. I think he's still got a little while before he proves himself as that, but God, he's definitely there. That was a very close fight. I would love to see a rematch on that one, Haterade 9. He's in a wheelchair. He's a coach and a fighter in the octagon. Most fighters need someone to tell them how to win, like George St. Pierre. Dude is an animal, and he lost that first round. God, Marlon Moraes came out like an absolute beast. To eat those leg kicks, he took Henry Cejudo into deep waters, and I really thought Moraes was going to win that fight. And I thought it was going to be Moraes that was drowning Cejudo. It ended up being Cejudo drowning Moraes. Diaz can't take that many kicks. Needs to stick with the king costume. That's good. Call himself the king of cringe. Did he seriously? Oh, I didn't know he called himself the king of cringe. Why would you do that to yourself? Diaz can't take that many kicks. What? Diaz. You talking about Nick Diaz? Nate Diaz? Moraes had the strategy. Moraes had a good strategy coming in. Cejudo took a lot of kicks. I know his legs were beat up. And Moraes, like I said during the event, I mean, he kicks like a freaking field goal kicker. Go ahead and update your browsers, though. Let's get on with the trivia, guys. We'll try to get this to close within an hour, at least for the trivia part. And then if we want to keep talking about MMA, we can. But I want to try to keep this to around an hour every week so people aren't discouraged by it being too long. Go ahead and refresh your browsers. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In this martial arts sci-fi, Jet Li plays a police officer confronted with a criminal version of himself from a parallel universe determined to kill him. This might be my favorite martial arts movie ever. Not Enter the Dragon. Jet Li, not Bruce Lee. There it is. Pulse Reloaded. The one. He got it. I don't think it'll be... Yep, Pulse Reloaded was first. Romeo Must Die. That was a good one in here. Those are both Jet Li movies. Anybody who hasn't seen that movie, seriously, you have to see that movie. If you don't like that movie, I don't know what the hell is wrong with you. I don't know what to tell you. Seriously, probably my favorite martial arts movie ever. Because it had martial arts and sci-fi, which are my two favorite genres, in one. Did Chinamen die? Oh, Jesus. It was not the Forbidden Kingdom we had on another one, though. Go ahead and refresh your browsers. We'll try and get through the trivia questions, like I said, within about an hour. And then if people want to stick around and have some more MMA talk, we can do that. But let's get the next question out here. I was hoping that this would grow a little bit every week. We'll talk about that here in a minute. So go ahead and refresh your browsers, like I said, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In this action movie, Jet Li plays an FBI agent hunting down a rogue assassin who killed his partner. The rogue assassin is played by Jason Statham. Another awesome movie. It is not Romeo Must Die. Now you have me questioning myself, Billy. So Billy's got the wrong answer. There it is, Billy Hughes. It is War. Wow. Oh, John was like a second behind you. Man. I think Billy's just got that super internet speed. All right, 8 questions in. We have Malak, Jason Azevedo, and John Cicero all tied with 1,000. Pulse Reloaded, who came in late, came in just a few seconds ago, in second with 2,000, and then Billy Hughes in the lead with 3,000. If you'd have been here at the beginning, Pulse, you might be dominating this thing. Bootleg Russia. Can we talk about Michael Douglas? And I still have not watched Endgame. Sorry, guys. If I hit any spoilers at this point, I know I'm going to end up seeing them, but I still have not seen Endgame. Don't ask me where I've been. It's an epic fail, I know. Yeah, no, I've planned to go see it several times, and we have just been so busy with the end of school and graduation, and David's graduation. My daughter's involved in so many things. But if you want to help us spread the word on this trivia game, I'm really working hard to get more viewers on this. It is, I mean, not like it's a lot of work. But if I'm going to do it every week, it would be nice to have more than 14 people because, I mean, you know, financially, that's not exactly breaking the bank. Our dollar donation tonight will probably make me more than my ad revenue. But if you could help me at Fights with Friends, follow me on Twitter at Fights with Friends. If you could share that over there. I did share that on Twitter. And our Facebook group, we're having to take this private because we had a few people. Thank you, Haterade9. You're a good man for coming in. We're going to have to take this private because I had a few interesting people asking to join the group that were like really new Facebook people. So if you're new to Facebook and you have like 0 or 1 friends, or you did or do end up signing up for Facebook or making a new account just for this group, please let me know, because if I see somebody with like 0 or 5 friends that just signed up for Facebook an hour ago, I've been assuming that it was a spam account. So just let me know. I think of Haterade when I get thirsty. I need some Gatorade, man. I should have brought some more water up. I've been drinking about a gallon of water a day, though. All right, let's jump into the next question. I promised this by an hour, and it's 6:53, so we got 7 minutes to get the rest of these trivia questions out. Everybody refresh your browsers. I think we got a few good ones here at the end. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. During the Vietnam War, Van Damme plays a soldier who takes on his deranged superior officer in a fight to the death. After they fight, they are resurrected by the military as unquestioning killing machines. Slowly throughout the movie, they do start to remember who they were too. There it is, Jason Azevedo. You are right, sir. It is Universal Soldier. And Jason and Pulse Reloaded now tied in second with 2,000 apiece. But I definitely, over on Facebook, I definitely plan on having some watch parties, doing like UFC 1 over there, maybe doing some watch-along movie watch parties and different things. But I have to get some more users on there, so please help me out if you're interested, especially in doing the Fight Companion with UFC 1. Make sure and give me a request on the group, and help out, please, by sharing our trivia on Twitter. It's not at Fights with Friends. I'm sorry, it's at Fights W Friends. At Fights with Friends was too long. Michael Benedict at Fights W Friends. Last Action Hero. Last Action Hero was decent. It's not as bad as, the hot, steaming piece of garbage people try to act like it was. Not a bad movie at all. All right, everybody, refresh your browsers. I'm curious who's going to end up getting this one. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In this 90s movie, a Special Forces member returns to his old high school and finds it overrun by drug lords. He teaches the kids capoeira, but he will have to take on the drug boss himself. This movie introduced capoeira to myself and a lot of other people. I don't believe I'd ever even heard of capoeira when I was growing up before this movie. So I know, Billy Hughes, you are correct, sir. It is only the strong. And with that, Billy Hughes goes into a pretty commanding lead going into the last couple here. Billy, 1, 2, 3, 4,000. We could still have a tie. Jason has a veto and Post Reloaded. Each have 2,000 apiece. Malak still with 1,000. John Licicero with 1,000. All right, very good, guys. Dangerous Mind, The Principal. Those were good movies. The Principal movies, I love those movies, Comedic Genius. I imagine we have a couple of the same favorite movies, comedic. All right, I'm going to jump right into the next one because I got 3 minutes before the hour mark. So go ahead and refresh your browsers. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What is the name of the bully Daniel Russo fights at the end of Karate Kid? What is the name of the bully that Daniel Russo fights at the end of Karate Kid? Remember, just like Jeopardy, last name or first and last name. It is from the Cobra Kai. But what is it? John Lasara. Oh, there it is. Johnny Lawrence. Great job, Lon Lasara. And I actually probably should have made that one worth 2,000. I think that one was a little harder. All right, guys, and to get us under the hour, let's everybody refresh. And the last question of the night, it was not Donald Trump. Oh, I love you, Comedic Genius. All right, and right on the hour, everybody refresh your browsers. And we will get this going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In this movie, Brandon Lee's character witnesses a mob boss killing his Chinese rival. He teams up with an honest policeman to take down the Chinese and Italian gangs, as well as the corrupt police force. It is not The Crow. Yes, you do first, last. Everybody with The Crow. It's not The Crow. I guess he does. He does, and it is not Big Trouble in Little China. Although, I guess it's kind of similar. There we go. Jason Azevedo. It is rapid fire. When I was writing that question, I knew, I'm like, everybody's going to be like Big Trouble in Little China because it has China in the name. But yeah, that one was rapid fire. All three, Brandon Lee, I believe he only did 3 movies. Rapid Fire, Crow, and Big Trouble in Little China. But they were all really good movies. Man, just sadly taken before his time. And Jason Azevedo, that puts you at 3,000. And in first place with 4,000 was Billy Hughes. Jason Azevedo, second place with 3,000. Pulse Reloaded in third place, didn't come into question 6. And John Lascesaro both tied with 2,000. And Malak with 1,000. Good job, everybody. Congratulations again, Billy. Good job, everyone. Billy, you cheaters. Yep, Curse of the Dragon. You are right. All right. So, Billy, you are now tied with Ashley Ward, who hasn't showed up for a couple. Ashley Ward's got 2 weeks. Billy Hughes has 2 wins. We're going 20 weeks. So if you show up every week, you have a much better chance of winning. But like I said, please, I would really appreciate it. Appreciate it anyways if you followed me over on Twitter. Help grow my presence over there. Michael Pauly has been absolutely killing it. I need to hire him as a media manager. He's increased my Twitter when I had no idea how to do it. And he's done it. Helped me out. Oh, man, Yup Johnson, I'm sorry you missed it, man. Yeah, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific. I waited about 15 minutes for you, too, but I'm going to try to make sure to have them done by an hour from now on. Not that the show will only be an hour, but that way if somebody has to leave, they know that if they want to see all the trivia, if they stay for an hour, they'll get it all. Also, if you have not joined our Facebook group yet, we are privatizing that. We're going to have some watch parties. We're going to have UFC 1 watch party over there, some other things, MMA movies and different things. As the group gets bigger, it's growing very rapidly. Actually, as well as my Twitter. Thank you to Michael Pauly. They're both growing quicker than YouTube did at first. Twitter, now that Michael Pauly is on it, Twitter was not growing well for me before he was. I think I was at like 30 something, and he's got me up to 150 in like a couple weeks. So big news coming up though, guys. Like I said, this Friday, Lyoto the Dragon Machida taking on the American Gangster Chael Sonnen on Bellator. Also on that same card, Rory McDonald defends his welterweight championship against Neiman Gracie in the next round of the welterweight tournament. And then Kyoji Horiguchi from Rizin, from Japan, comes over from Rizin to challenge the Bellator champion. He's Rizin's welterweight champion. Darian Caldwell already went over to Japan tried to take the Ryzen belt inside the ring. Horiguchi actually knocked him out. Horiguchi is one of these guys that was actually in the UFC. I believe he was either 7-1 or 8-1, and decided he left the UFC to fight for Ryzen. He was doing very well in the UFC. So a couple fighters have decided just to stay over there in Japan, that they don't want to come back to the States and fight. But a pig with the waits tables at Denny's. Oh, Jesus. So all three of those fights are big. And what I just realized is in boxing, the Tyson Fury versus Tom Schwartz, that fight is actually going to be on ESPN Plus. So not a pay-per-view, not a Showtime. Good old $5 a month ESPN Plus. Main card starts at 7 p.m. I'm not going to do the undercard because... all right, and I see requests coming in. Multiple requests for the Fights with Friends Facebook group. Thank you. I will accept those requests. How about a Cowboy's haircut? No, I don't know if the wife would like that too much. Don't know if she would care for that. All right, and approving all new members. All right, anybody who's in there? Yep, I got it, Spook Show. Thank you. Did I say dude? Or did somebody else? I have a huge beard because the girl hates it. I hear you, Zoltan. Yeah, we're up. Last 28 days, Facebook groups, 33 new members, up 22%. Activity up 167%. 11 new top contributors, 787 post comments and reactions in the last 28 days over there, with now 73 members. So and then I don't have all the action in front of me on Twitter, but at FightsWFriends, we got 154 people over there, and I post a lot of fight videos, shorter fight videos over there too. Thank you, Spook Show. Appreciate it. On at FightsWFriends. But yeah, just another good reason. I know ESPN Plus has dropped the ball with the pay-per-view. It was a little better this week. But, another reason to have them is I really haven't had much issue lately with the regular UFCs on there. And then now we get Tyson Fury versus Tom Schwartz. Main event in boxing. That's freaking awesome. So I'm very happy about that. A couple other undercard fights. Main event on ESPN Plus. You watch with the app. Best place I think to watch it is on Roku. If you have a Roku, you should be automatically some timed out with me. Yes, Fall Billy Hughes also over there on Twitter. And he should be getting, yes, everybody please hit the like button. That does help me out. I was reading a thing. I didn't know if it actually was, but they said interaction is what it does. It creates YouTube to promote your videos more. That's what helps you grow the fastest. And my growth is slowed down quite a bit. Most of that is my own fault because I have not been putting out videos because I've been doing so many other things here at the end of the year. Anybody tried the new McDonald's international menu? I try to stay away from McDonald's. I already knew that, comedic genius. I just assumed. I'm good like that. An international menu, huh? Anything at McDonald's, I just generally assume is horrible. But guys, don't forget to go over to On It though. Start your morning off with Alpha Brain. Especially, I know I should get the sleep that I need, but especially if you don't get your 8 hours, like I admit, I struggle getting my sleep. Go over to onit.com/fights with friends and at any time get 10% off any and every item over there, from supplements to workouts, equipment, and everything else they sell. It was very good, Billy. Thank you. It was very good. My parents were over today. They left this morning. My wife's parents were over. My grandparents, who were in their 80s, were over. So it was very good. Those reads are so long. I know I need to record like a pre-read, don't I, comedic genius, where I figure out how to put it in the scene so it's only like 30 seconds. But yeah, graduation was good. David graduated from high school at 18, on time and everything. Yeah, my 80-year-old grandparents were over. My sister and brother-in-law were over. My parents, wife's parents and everything. So if you're not sleeping like a baby every night, you're doing it wrong. I sleep well. I just don't sleep long. Yeah, it's a little wild for TurboTax, comedic genius. I don't think anybody's doing their taxes yet. I will, Billy. Thank you. Hope Rory wins and gets back on track. Hey, I like Rory McDonald. I like Neiman Gracie too, though. And I mean, I think that would be really good for MMA. Excuse me, to have a successful Gracie out there again. I think that would be absolutely incredible for the sport. And I don't know if Rory wants to do it anymore. If he does, I hope he comes out there seriously. Horiguchi to show the world he's one of the best again. It'd be interesting to see what the odds come out on that one. I was looking on DraftKings and they didn't have Bellator on there at all, which was kind of frustrating. They have like all of the UFC on there. And God, for those of you guys that do parlays, there are a few enticing bets out there right now, at least for me. And I'll go through it here in a minute and let you guys let me know what you think. But like I said recently, when I get my my YouTube check, I'm going to start betting the entire thing on fights. If I double up or whatever it is, then I'll put that money aside, and that's my winning for the month. Like I did betting on Roxanne Modafferi, the last one, betting on Gustafsson. I ended up losing it, but I'd like your guys' insights on what good bets are out there too. Schwartz to not pay down to Fury. I'm not betting on that fight, man. On Cejudo. Yeah, I should have bet on a Cejudo. I would have bet on Moraes, actually, though. So, try nuking a microwave dinner. Subscribe to Blue Ape. Oh, jeez. Comedic Genius trying to give me new sponsors. Thank you. Now, yeah, like I said, Cejudo, he is an absolute stud. Guy is an absolute stud. But betting odds, I'm looking on this for Chael Sonnen versus Lyoto Machida. Lyoto is a slight favorite, minus 135. Chael's a plus 115. I think that's a good spot for that. I actually think Machida should maybe be a little higher. I think Chael Sonnen just needs to concentrate on his commentating and his podcast. I think he's pretty much done. Does anybody disagree with me? Who do you guys have winning Lyoto Machida versus Chael Sonnen? I'm curious what you guys think. They are both in their 40s. Machida should win. And when you're talking about speed and reflexes, I mean, a wrestler could end up winning a match like that for sure. Malak says Chael. Haterade9 says Machida. I say Machida. Just when Chael lost to Tito Ortiz, I was like, man, I really don't think he has much left in the tank. And that's been a couple years ago. I also notice it seems like he has been distracted from his training because I follow his podcast and I follow him on YouTube. And I realize that fighters are not just sleeping and training during training camp. Trust me, I do realize this. But when I see him doing a podcast and doing a YouTube video and doing 8 ESPN appearances and all this media the week and even a few days up to the fight, I wonder if he's getting in all the training he has in the past. Cejudo would be a superstar right now if you would call it Cyborg with Passion. What's up, Tart Strength? That is hilarious. Yep, happy wife, happy life. You are correct, sir. My wife will be happy when I shave off this beard, which is about to happen because it's going to be 90 degrees here in Seattle, and we don't do air conditioning, so it's actually pretty warm for the amount of humidity we have. I know all across the country you guys are breaking hundreds and stuff probably, but that's hot for us. Cheetah just has to catch Chael once. Yeah, that's the way I see it. I would almost bet on that. Oh, I was going to bring up my DraftKings parlays, though. I want to see what you guys think of some of these bets out there. I was actually... I don't know what I think about parlays. I don't know if I want to go for a parlay and didn't do that great. 7 p.m., 98. Oh, it's 78 here, and it feels warm to me, man. I used to live in Eastern Washington where it gets up in the hundreds. I just don't like the heat anymore. Never really did. I like the cold, actually. 70's great. If you can go out and you can hang outside, 70 degrees, perfect. So I'm going to go to MMA here real quick, and I'll just show you some of the ones that I thought I might cherry pick here. Might be cherry picks. Some of these you guys are going to disagree with me. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. I don't know if I want to bet on this one, but I think the odds are maybe a little off on this. So not this Saturday, but next Saturday, Korean Zombie Chan Sung Jun faces Renato Macanio. Renato Macanio is a minus 230 favorite, so almost 2.5 to 1. I don't really want to bet on that fight, but I don't know that the Korean Zombie should be that much of an underdog. Junior Dos Santos, Francis Ngannou is a minus 250 favorite. Junior Dos Santos plus 190. I actually favor Santos in that match, or at least close to even odds. I think he's the more creative striker. Ngannou's the harder hitter, though, and Dos Santos has been susceptible to getting hit lately. I'm tied to Vasa, found that chin a couple of times. That's a great matchup. Yeah, 107 is way too damn hot. But that's an incredible matchup. Junior Dos Santos and Francis Ngannou. Dos Santos, that guy's I can't think of a time he was ever in a bad fight. Luke Rockhold, this one I really like. Luke Rockhold making his light heavyweight debut against Jan Blachowicz. And they have Luke Rockhold, a minus 182 favorite. Blachowicz plus 138. So $138 for every 100 you put down on Blachowicz. I actually favor Blachowicz in that, being it's his weight class. Yeah, it just gets too hot at a certain point, man. Jorge Masvidal plus 160 underdog. Ben Askren minus 215 favorite going into that match with Jorge Masvidal. That might be close. I'm a little scared to bet on this one. This one I'm not scared to bet on, though. And I like the guy who's a favorite. But I think these are turned around backwards. And I want you guys to let me know what you think on this one. Sugar Sean O'Malley comes back. He takes on Marlon Vera. O'Malley's a minus 155 favorite. I think that's a huge jump up for O'Malley. I don't think he's ready for that, especially after a long layoff. I think Marlon Vera's better. I think Marlon Vera defeats Sean O'Malley fairly easily. I don't know what you guys think, but I'm pretty surprised to see Sean O'Malley a favorite already against Marlon Vera. And Vera's a top contender. I know Sean O'Malley, I see him as a prospect. I see him with potential. I don't see him as a contender. I just don't believe he's there yet. Amanda Nunes versus Holly Holmes. A flashback to Yair versus Korean Zone. That was crazy, man. So I felt so bad for Chan Sung Jung that night. Winning the entire fight, and then that one crazy sideways elbow knocks him unconscious. As unconscious as Jessica I was on Saturday. It was on the last second. There was a second or less than a second left to go. KO of the year. Yeah, maybe KO of the decade. That's one of the most incredible KOs I've ever seen because of the timing in a 5-round fight, main event. That was crazy. And I don't know if you guys seen videos of it up. I seen videos up on Twitter. They were showing how long Jessica I was knocked out for after eating that head kick from Valentina Shevchenko. And she was completely unconscious. They go back to her 3 minutes later, and she was still completely unconscious. I was honestly a little worried that Jessica I was the first fatality in the history of the UFC. Yeah, that was a really good card, Quincy. I thought it was going to be a good card, and it ended up being even better than I thought. That Cejudo Moraes fight was fire. Cerrone and Ferguson, those guys looked as good for 2 rounds as they ever have. Amanda Nunes coming in against Holly Holm, that July 6th match. Nunes is a minus 335 favorite. I think that's about where that should be at. I'm not touching that one, I'm betting. Who on earth can beat her at 1-2? Nobody, man. Nobody. Hey, if you were watching it, man, you were thinking it, though. I mean, it was crazy. As far as the UFC, not as far as MMA. I know there's been fatalities, but I honestly, I was worried for her. I mean, she was out. She looked like she was dead. Yeah, she looked like she was dead. I really do not want to see her fight again after taking that kind of a shot. But that's the game. John Jones, of course, or Amanda Nunes, minus 335 favorite over Holly Holm. I don't think anybody's really surprised by that. John Jones coming out a huge favorite against Santos, minus 670. So if you think Santos has a shot to get that knockout, Thiago Santos plus 450. So 4.5 to 1 odds. You can over quadruple your money if he does get it. Yeah, Holly is tough. I mean, if you are really crazy, you look at these parlays do get crazy. I would not do this, but this is just an example. Say you parlayed a Holly Holm and Thiago Santos. You bet $50 on each one. You would get back $1,825. So 18.25 to 1. I would not recommend that because that's crazy to have that many upsets. Max Holloway's a minus 360 favorite over Frankie Edgar. I don't know that I would bet on that one either, but at plus 275, if Edgar ends up in the 3 to 1 favorite, I don't think Edgar's a better fighter. I just think it's a strange matchup for Max. I think Frankie's so fast for that weight division. He shoots so fast, the way he rolls around, the way he throws kicks and different things. I don't know that he's seen those kind of looks before. Darren Till's loss was funniest ever. He felt like a ton of bricks. Just Frankie versus Henry, who would win? Now I got to go with Henry. They're around the same size, and Henry, that guy, God, he is a brick house, man. That guy is crazy. But he said if Frankie wins that he wants to fight and try to win a third belt. So that's interesting. Are you guys surprised? I don't know if you guys are surprised by this one too. Paulo Costa, of course, is fighting Yoel Romero. I kind of expected these odds to be fairly close. Yoel Romero's a minus 200 favorite. Costa's a plus 150, so you get $100.50 back for every dollar you put on Paulo Costa. I think that's a closer matchup than the odds say. Anthony Pettis versus Nate Diaz, almost even odds. Minus 125 Pettis, plus 100 for Nate Diaz. So even money if you pick Diaz. I actually pick Nate Diaz to win that fight. I hope we didn't just lose our internet here, lose our stream. All right, guys, we're back. That was weird. I think we lost our stream. I don't know what's going on with my internet, but apparently I might be done for the night. I don't know if you guys are having streaming freezing as well. Or should I say allegedly? But I'm getting some freezing on my screen. Let me know if you guys are getting it as well. I don't remember who Robbie Lawler's fighting next. Close some of these browsers, maybe. Maybe. All right. I think we might have lost it here, guys. I don't know what's going on, but it looks like we
Are you looking for a good fight?
All right, what's up, Quincy? I guess it's just on mine. Okay. I guess it's just on mine, though. Well, too much MMA is a first-class ticket with a CTE, without a doubt. Oh, okay. It's going fine on mine now, too. I guess it was just my computer. Oh, there is Bellator odds here. Okay, I just needed to go down further. Anyways, Cormier, just a slight... I picked Nate Diaz against Anthony Pettis. By the way, if you didn't see that, I think Diaz out-cardios him, and I think that will be the difference. Frankie has been in some wars too. Yeah, that's a good fight, man. I almost favor Frankie in that fight. I have for quite some time. Anthony Pettis and Nate Diaz, I said, I think Diaz pulls it out with cardio. I just don't see Pettis finishing Diaz, and that's the only way I see him winning the fight. Way too smart a fighter to lose to Diaz, you think? I don't think so. But we'll see. I think Diaz beats him by with cardio and consistency and volume. I don't think he finishes it, but I think he wins unanimous decision. He might get a submission. Otherwise, I think he gets unanimous decision. What a KO to Wonder Boy. Yes, it was. Khabib, I think these odds are a bit high. Khabib minus 360 favorite over Dustin Poirier plus 275, so almost 4-1. Now for Khabib, I think they should be about 100 points lower. I think Dustin's right. I think minus 260 or maybe minus 300 at the most for Khabib. Leg kicks, good jiu-jitsu, striking, just an all-around. Oh, Rob Fighter beats Stamen. I think you're right. I think you're right on that one. I was looking at the odds on that one coming up too as well. Maybe it's not on this screen now. Anyways, Khabib, I think he's a bit much. I think those lines will get a little closer. So if you want Dustin Poirier at almost 3-1 odds, now's the time to take him. Darian Caldwell comes in a minus 139 favorite against Kyoji Horiguchi for the Bellator Championship this Friday. Horiguchi, of course, knocked Caldwell out in Rizin in Japan. What's up? What's up, 700 Gabriel? Thanks for coming in. Trivia's over, but we are finishing this up with the last few minutes of some MMA talk. I'm going to start doing this, making sure we're through the trivia, at least within an hour, so people know how long the trivia lasts. And then if people want to stick around and talk some MMA, we can. Dominic Cruz is broken. He's just a broken, brittle man. That guy, some of the greatest, if not the greatest, footwork in the history of MMA. But that guy's bones are made of peanut brittle or something, man. But 8 volcanoes erupted. Jesus, 8 volcanoes? You're in Hawaii, I'm guessing. Holy crap! Well, be safe over there, man. Dylan Dennis, he's a minus 670 favorite going into his match. I have no idea who the hell Max Humphrey is, though. So, maybe that's why. Juan Archuleta versus Eduardo Dantas. That is a good fight, I think. Archuleta's a minus 190 favorite. Fairly close, though. Ricky Bandejas comes back against Patrick Mix. Very close odds on that one, too. Bandejas just minus 125 favorite. Oh, these odds have moved significantly in the favor of Lyoto Machida. I was talking about when the way they opened up, but apparently a lot of people are thinking how I am. They're leaning towards Lyoto Machida. He started out a minus 1. I have never seen odds move like this. Lyoto Machida opened up a slight favorite, about 135. He is now a minus 286. Chael Sonnen's a plus 205. I actually wanted to take Machida at minus 135 because I think Machida will most likely beat Chael pretty easy. Planet X is affecting everything. It's first us. And then Rory McDonald, not a huge favorite against Neiman Gracie. Minus 160, Neiman Gracie a plus 120. So if you think Neiman Gracie's going to pick that one off, the odds have moved a lot. A lot of money is coming in on Neiman Gracie. But you can still get $1.20 for every dollar you put down. Randy Brown got it from Nico on the bottom. Yep, the hammer fist from the bottom. I was in the crowd for that. Over there in Boise. That was crazy. Me and my friend were going back and forth and betting on fights. He was pissed on that one. I thought I'd seen odds on Randy Brown's fight coming up, but I don't see him now. I am interested real quick before we go what the odds are on Tyson Fury's fight coming up on Saturday. Be on TRT against Roy Jones, that's for sure. Well, so will Roy Jones, though, I'm sure. And you don't want TRT RJJ. That TRT RJJ, I think, equals a fucked up TRT tour. And, wow. Yeah, boxing odds are always crazy. Tyson Fury's a minus 3,335. So 33.5 to 1 favorite. But Tom Schwartz, this is why I hate boxing sometimes though. Tom Schwartz just a plus 1,000 underdog. So you have to put down $333.50 to win $100. No, excuse me, you have to put down $3,335 to win $100 on Tyson Fury. But if you put down $100 on Tom Schwartz, you only get $1,000 back. That's where Vegas makes their money. I guess. But Brown versus Barberena. Brown. I got Barberena in that one though, man. Brian Barberena is an absolute stud. Remember his fight against Vicente Luque? I think that still might be fight of the year. Only problem for them was it was too early in the year and people have a short memory. But that was such a good fight. I want to see a rematch between Vicente Luque and Brian Barberena. Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson. Especially in a 5-round. I think that's a bad matchup for Diaz. I think Ferguson matches his cardio and exceeds his power. And Ferguson might actually finish him. Very few people, I think, would finish Diaz. In a 5-round fight, I think Ferguson could do it. But I would love to see it. I would love to see it. I think Luque would love him quicker. Yeah, Vicente Schwartz getting knocked out. That's what I'm thinking, Quincy. Well, Fury's knocked out almost everybody he's went against anyways. So when I don't know what the over-under is going to be for that one. I'll have to look at more odds on that as far as the rounds. But speaking of Diaz and Ferguson, though, we were talking about Justin Gaethje. What about Nick versus Tony? I don't know. It's been so long since Nick's fought. That's the issue. What's up, Denise? How's it going? Yeah, it's been so long since Nick's fought that to come back against Tony Ferguson, I think he'd need a better warm-up match than that. Let Jason Mayhem Miller come back and let him and Nick fight to warm up first. And then maybe a couple fights into it on Tony. I think Tony starches him right now. Diaz don't deserve spotlight with Tony. Nobody deserves it with Tony right now. Nobody deserves the spotlight more than Tony Ferguson right now, in my opinion. Sayura Conde versus Ashley Yoder. Yeah, that one's on there. I'm not sure about that one. I didn't go that deep into the card, though, to be honest. Like I said, I would not take Randy Brand against Barberena. I would save your money on that one, to be honest. And am I crazy thinking Dos Santos has got a good chance against Francis Ngannou, though? I just think he brings more to the game. I think Ngannou brings, he brings hard shots. But I think JDS just has a more complete striking game. He could also catch, he could catch Dos Santos for sure. Royce Gracie versus Ken Shamrock. They fought 3 times. The last time they actually fought was in Bellator a couple years ago when Royce Gracie beat Frank. Oh, Frank. I'm sorry. I was thinking of Ken. No, they never fought. Or I don't know if they ever fought. I think Dos Santos is a better fighter too. Needs to drag him in deep waters. I think that's kind of an IQ match. With power being the equalizer. I would favor JDS in that one, but obviously you can't count Ngannou out because he's got that power, and Dos Santos has been caught. He got caught by Tai Tuivasa. He almost got knocked out by Tai Tuivasa. I seen that. Yeah, Justin Bieber versus Tom Cruise. It's ludicrous. That's a warning, comedic genius. No, just teasing. Yeah, how brave of that is, though, a 25-year-old guy calling out a 56-year-old dude. That's about as brave as Conor McGregor calling out Mark Wahlberg for his shares. By the way, as soon as UFC goes public that month, it's all right, comedic. I'm just teasing you. As soon as UFC goes public, I'm spending a month's worth of revenue from this channel on shares from UFC, and I'm going to start going to the shareholders meeting and sharing the financial records with you guys on the channel, because a lot of that's going to have to be public now with WME. It'll be interesting to see just how much is public. Didn't like when JDS got caught by Overeem. He was too hesitant, and I could see the same against Ngannou. It could happen. I think of Ngannou versus JDS kind of like Hunt versus JDS, but Ngannou is younger and faster than Hunt, so he could catch him. I just have to lean towards JDS, and JDS has been on a streak lately. He seems to be putting his shots together. If he comes in with a smart game plan, if he attacks with the leg, I haven't seen anybody attack Ngannou with leg kicks. And JDS, he's got a good reach. He's a really tall, he's a good tall guy. I don't think Ngannou's going to have a good big reach advantage in that one. Dos Santos can take a few shots. I mean, you don't want to take much from Ngannou, but he's still got a decent chin. And I think JDS, I would assume he's going to go with a lot of leg kicks, a lot of body kicks, and maybe even go for some takedowns. Probably not, though, since Curtis Blades wasn't able to really take Ngannou down and do much. Too risky going for leg kicks. You got to do it from far enough out. You got to do it at the right angle. You got to keep your hands up. That's that thing, when you throw that low leg kick and you bring that left hand down, you open yourself up for that right hook, or even worse, that right uppercut from Francis Ngannou. But all right, guys, thank you everybody for coming in with me. Thank you for everybody that came in for the trivia and the MMA talk. Congratulations again to Billy for winning this week, 4,000. Jason Azevedo was second at 3,000. 2000 John Cicero and Pulse Reloaded. Pulse, if you come in on time next time, you're gonna be a problem for these guys. You're gonna be a problem for you guys for sure. Don't forget Friday for Bellator. Let me pin. I'm gonna pin myself down for a time now. Friday's actually a long day for me, so I know I won't be catching the full undercard for Bellator, which is kind of a shame because it's actually good prelims this time, especially for Bellator. Hobson Gracie takes on Oscar Vera. Mike Kimball's in action on the undercard against Sebastian Ruiz. Valerie Loreda takes on Lorik Dosh. Aaron Pico's actually on the undercard now, taking on 8-0 Adam Borix. Heather Hardy on the underdog, former professional boxer at flyweight, taking on Taylor Turner. And their undercards, even though underrated, have been much better than what they look like on paper. Prelims start at 3:30. Main card starts at 7. That's, like I said, Fridays are long days for me, but I'm going to split the distance on that one, and we'll try to start at, why don't we just start at 6 o'clock so everybody can remember good, like on Tuesday. So I'll be started by 6. If I'm able to start earlier, I'll let you guys know. But Friday, Bellator at 6 o'clock, I think that's a great card. I didn't like when JDS got caught by Overeem. He was too hesitant. I could see the same again. Oh, I seen that. Sorry. Cyborg scared of Amanda, like what Dana White says. Well, I didn't know Dana White said that. That's interesting. I don't know. You always have to wonder, and you got to kind of wonder with Cyborg coming into the Holly Holm fight if she's hesitant at all. You got to remember what happened to Ronda after the air of invincibility came off, after that cloak came off, and she got destroyed in her next fight, and then she was done. Cyborg, it's going to be interesting to see how she comes back after that cloak of invincibility is gone. She was scared of her during the stare down, really. See, I said from the beginning, I thought Nunez actually looked bigger than Cyborg. Just like her thighs and her arms and everything, she just looks, even though she fought at 135, she just looks like a big girl. I mean, not fat, don't get me wrong, a big, strong girl, though. All right, see you guys on the next one. I'll see you guys all. She's definitely more calm. I'll see you guys all on Friday. Thanks again for tuning in for trivia. Remember, trivia every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Don't forget, next Tuesday, Dana White Contender Series starts. Does anybody know when Dana White Contender Series is going to be on? I want to say it's 5. I want to say last time it was at 5, but it's going to be on ESPN Plus. So let me go over to ESPN real quick. For anybody that's still in there, for anybody that left and missed it, I'll have to catch them later. But I do want to see, I am going to be covering all the Dana White Contender Series. And I'm already streaming on Tuesday. So I just wanted to see if they had something on it on ESPN Plus. And I'm not seeing it yet. Chael Sonnen at 42, so I'm going to keep going until I fulfill my promise. I don't know. Oh, he made a promise to his father, I think, to win the belt. I don't think Chael's ever won a belt. Huh. That's the one thing about ESPN. They're not real good at updating us about what's going on more than a week in advance. And Dana White Contender Series a week from now will be on ESPN Plus, but I don't see a damn thing on their website yet about it. So maybe I need to Google it, but the UFC had the fighters. If you go on the UFC website, they had the fighters that will be fighting. I don't recognize a whole lot of them. Just an article comes up. Fans not happy with ESPN pay-per-view. That's an understatement. That is a big understatement. There we go. I found a link. Okay, June 18th, 5 p.m., just like I thought. Main card will be at 5 p.m. for Dana White Contender Series. So I'll start streaming at 5 p.m. next Tuesday. We'll still start the trivia at 6. And like I said, Bellator Friday at 6. And then boxing, Tyson Fury, Saturday at 7. Until then, guys, as always, I love you. I respect you. And I'll see your fine asses later.